Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Xochitl. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And this is different than my usual beauty videos. If you don't know, if you are new and you're watching for like the keto content, I'm mixing it in there, but I do have a beauty lifestyle and chatty chismosa time channel here on YouTube. But if you're here for the keto content, please subscribe and stick around. For those of you who have been curious about my keto journey, thank you guys for joining. So previously I just posted my second what I eat in a day on keto, and we made some yummy, delicious keto tostadas for those of you like me who need that sazon to survive this keto journey. But today I wanted to do my update on 30 days of doing the ketogenic diet. It felt like it was going quick and then it dragged, and then here we are. But I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about my results, any tips that I have, my experience for those of you who might be interested in it. Overall though, do your own research. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. This is just something I'm doing that's been working for me. And I also asked you guys on my Instagram, if you don't follow me, you should. On my Instagram, you see all the other fun sneak peek stuff, keto and life. But if you guys had any questions, and I've written them down here so I can answer them for you guys. So we started the ketogenic diet, the keto diet, because I don't know who calls it ketogenic. I don't know how fancy you are. So we started that in March, and it was like March, I think like 9th, 6th, something like that, and then up to like about April 6th. And after 1 month, I am very happy with the results. So just to kind of go over the results for you guys. So total for me, I lost about 12 pounds, which is crazy. I know they say usually in like the first week, a lot of that might be water weight or something, but I was happy to see those numbers go down. But then honestly, I feel like a majority of it, I felt it in my stomach. It was crazy. I feel like that's where I've dropped a lot of it, and I've done some before and after pictures. And in my previous what I eat in a day, I actually kind of wanted to share it, and so you guys can kind of compare my total journey in general, which has been since January. With the January and February, honestly, all I did was really just cut out hot Cheetos in general, because that's my vice, that's my demon. We all have our demons. Comment down below, what's that one snack, what's that one thing that you just can't give up, and that's the one thing that's kind of keeping you from, losing that weight or making any sort of progress. Mine is hot Cheetos. So that's what I did in January and February. And combined those 2 months, that was down 9 pounds. Then just 1 month of keto and another month of no hot Cheetos at all. That was just down 12 pounds, which I thought was just crazy. So I kind of wanted to show that side by side. And I was a little bit like, should I not? Am I self-conscious about it? And like I've got some other pictures, and I'll probably share here now. And I've kind of gone back and forth like, should I? You're being very vulnerable, and the ones that I showed it was just a tank top kind of, but you can see the difference in my stomach. And the other ones, it was like just sports bra and shorts. So you can really kind of see like, wow. And for me, it's like, you know what? I'm going to share it because I feel like if that can help inspire somebody and that can help somebody else out, I feel like those are definitely like the videos or like the progress things that I like to see from people. That's hard to kind of post, and I get it. And a part of me is like, oh my God, what if people judge? Or they're like, oh my God, that's what like you for a reason try to cover that up with like baggy clothes and stuff like that. But I'm kind of to the point where I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like whatever. Like I got some young man who loves me no matter what. Like I don't care. So here you go. Just so you can kind of see like really this is my journey. And I feel like overall, I think keto is just kind of part of it. I feel like this is just something it's taken years to kind of get to just those like 21 pounds in general, and I'm excited for more. But I think somebody asked me, is like, oh, do you think it was like the no hot Cheetos or the keto diet that kind of helped you lose the weight? And I feel like both, yes, but I think in general, the mindset that I was in is what really kind of helped me and is helping me kind of eat better and kind of be consistent with this and not feel like, oh my God, I need, this snack, I need this meal. It's helping me not look at food for comfort as much. And so I think that's first things first. And let me know if while you guys kind of follow along this weight loss journey of mine, and because that's like a whole nother series, if you guys want me to talk about in general my whole weight loss journey. And I feel like I'm a very mental person, so for me it was very mental. So I'm just gonna leave this tip here for you guys really quick, so something you can think about, but we can talk about it in depth if you want. But I feel like the first step is understanding why you keep looking at food for comfort, instead of fuel. I think that was the first step for me, understanding is like, why do I feel the need to eat this? And from there, you can kind of finally do something about it. So it's been years in the making for me, but I feel like finally I was able to be motivated. I was able to kind of do something about it and be consistent with it and have that positive mindset towards it. So that's just something I want to leave here. Whether you're starting whatever weight loss journey, whatever type of diet plan, understand first, why do you feel the need? Is it depression, which I think was kind of mine? Is it stress? Like what is it? And then what's causing that? And how do you remove that? How do you change that? And I think once you do that, now that's, for a lot of people, maybe if you're like me, I think that's when you can kind of help make some changes and really see those results. So if you're like me, do that, figure that out, and I think that'll really help. So now, let's talk about my results a little bit more. So what I did, honestly, because sometimes the scale is just a number, and I feel like especially when you are maybe incorporating exercise and just different things, there's so many different factors. I feel like especially for women that can kind of change that scale up in the number. So like when it's that time of the month, I don't like to weigh myself because I know it's going to be a couple pounds extra. Or if I am working out, you're building muscle, that's going to make you gain more weight and the numbers going up, and mentally you're just like, oh no, like this isn't working, and you kind of feel defeated, So I did weigh myself just because, I like data. I did weigh myself, but I also took measurements in case that maybe I didn't see the number on the scale that I wanted, but I felt it and I saw it in my measurements. And I also took photos, but not only that, I also kind of kept track of my mood every month. So, for example, passion planner here. So let's see, so I can take you guys along with me. So when I started in January, I feel like when it actually really started for me. So the first month I just stopped hot Cheetos. The first month I was like, I don't feel bloated. The second month I felt very energetic and I loved that feeling. And then the third month when we started keto, my mood in general, I was kind of missing the carbs. But I feel like in general, like the bloat kind of went down too. So I think those are a couple things you can kind of track just so you're not kind of fixated on that number on the scale, because that number can just kind of toy with your brain a lot. So really pay attention to how you're feeling. I think that will make the biggest difference for like any type of, weight loss journey. But for my measurements, I did my thighs, my belly, and my arms. And honestly, my stomach is definitely where I saw it the most. So I lost a total of 1 inch on my stomach. So in March, I was 37 inches, and in April, I was 36 inches. And then from my thighs, I lost about a half an inch, if my math is correct. So March, it was 26 and a quarter. And then in April, it was like 25 inches and 3/4. My arms, I lost about a half inch, and that was 13 inches from March to 12 and a half inches to April. I feel like the inches wise, that's probably like the most I've lost. And that 1 month of losing the inches, that was with like no working out. I think honestly, I worked out maybe 3 times. I know for sure twice. And one, I had like a heavy activity day. So 2 or 3 times I worked out, but I felt like the inches I lost, like definitely saw it in my stomach. You guys probably can see it too as well. Like that feeling just feels so great. Sorry if I get a little bit rambly here. I definitely tried to have some notes for you guys, and this might be an in-depth video. So I usually say grab a snack. Grab a healthy snack. How about that? Usually say grab some hot Cheetos, but let's switch it up a bit. My favorite keto snacks are frozen blueberries. I'll talk about the rest of them later, but let's grab something healthy, or just a glass of water maybe. Who else watches like healthy cooking videos or workout videos and snacks on like, the most unhealthy snack, or like, girl, you're doing good. Yeah, guilty. I've done it too. But so those are my weight loss results, and I honestly was really proud of it. I feel like the biggest one that I felt was just the bloat in general. But let's talk about the keto diet. And the biggest thing I can say is do your research and do your own research. And I'm going to put down in the description below some of my favorite type of videos that I watch and like type of articles and stuff like that. Honestly, throughout this, Google, Pinterest, YouTube is going to be your best friend. And And I feel like YouTube and Pinterest have definitely been the main ones that I did. I feel like I wanted to prepare and I wanted to understand this and research as much as possible, because there's definitely a couple different ways to do keto, and there's a couple maybe ways that I feel like you can get results, and maybe there's like lack of results as well. Everybody kind of does it differently, whatever works for you, but this is kind of what worked for me. But in general, I think the biggest thing is to understand what foods are like kind of on the approved list. And I think each week you just kind of get better and better at it, and you kind of start to understand, it's like, okay, I can use this, maybe not that, so essentially just a nice little summary. So the keto diet is high fat, moderate protein, very low carb, no sugar. Essentially, you're gonna get your carbs from your veggies pretty much, so no like breads and stuff like that, like if you want to get a little creative with it, but essentially your carbs are gonna come from your veggies. So, anybody who's like, oh my god, too much fat, or craziness, whatever, everybody's got their opinions, that's cool. But I do agree that there's definitely a kind of a dirty keto and a clean keto. And I feel like I accidentally kind of did a dirty keto one day meal for like dinner, and my body just was like, nope, no bitch, no, we're not doing this again. Some people can go their whole journey with like dirty keto. I cannot. Like my body's just like, can't do it. And some people think like, oh, keto is just bacon and ranch and sour cream, and I would consider that maybe, in my opinion, a little bit more dirty keto, because like imagine that for all your meals. Like I can't, no. And like all the cheese on top of everything, no. The way I'm doing keto is definitely, using healthy fats to cook, coconut oil, avocado oil, having some more salmon. I've never had this much salmon in my life. We'll talk about picky person, things back in the day, but like salmon, you can still have like your chicken. And what got me was definitely, I was like, what? I can have burgers without the bun? Like I can do that. I love my red meat, but incorporating all those healthy fats, avocado, and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing a little bit more of, and having a little bit of fun with it too. You can add a little bit of sour cream on stuff. You can add, some cheese on it, have some fun, but that's not like a big part of my fats for my meal, So do your own research. And like I said, I'm going to do some of my favorite ones. And like one thing I learned, because the example of the dirty keto that I did it was for dinner. I was like, that looks yummy. Okay, but break it down and look at all the ingredients and all the foods that you're eating. So it was a bacon, I think it was like a bacon lettuce wrap with like avocado, essentially like a BLT, but no tea because I don't do the tea. But the total recipe for like 2 people, it was like a half a pound of bacon. And so between the 2 of us, like a quarter pound, nobody needs that much bacon. And like my body almost like, it was like, ugh, like, nope, we're not doing that, never again. So really whatever meals you're looking at Pinterest, because when you look up on Pinterest or even YouTube, but I feel like especially Pinterest, when you look up keto, whatever meal you're looking for, like really look at the foods, really look at the ingredients. And I feel like that'll kind of help you decipher like how good is this for you, as opposed to like, let's try something else. I feel like especially if you are trying to do keto for weight loss, you really want to look at the ingredients. You really want to look at the fats, saturated fats versus good fats, stuff like that. So one thing to keep in mind, I did that mistake. And then after that, I think throughout this, you really just learn how to read ingredients as well, like as stupid as that sounds, but I feel like a lot of people don't really read nutrition facts. A lot of people are just like calories, but they're not really reading the fats, the proteins, the carbs, stuff like that. So I think that's also one good thing that can come out of this. You learn how to read. I feel like I said, this is something that's been for years. And while I lost 12 pounds in 1 month, I think I want to continue on this keto, not because it's a quick way to lose weight. I think that for me personally, this has just been the most consistent I've been with like a diet. It's just crazy like how much carbs and sugar we eat in general. So I was like, in general, I feel like mostly I'm just cutting out like carbs and sugar. I'm just having a little bit more fat, and somehow that's working, But I feel like for me, this has just been a way for me to stay consistent, because I don't feel as restricted. I feel like if I start to feel restricted, I start to get a little bit creative. I think that going into this, don't think of it as food you can't eat. Like, I can't eat bread, I can't eat pasta, don't look at it as that. Once again, it's a mindset. A lot of this stuff is a mindset, So don't think of it as what I can't eat. Think about the foods that you love And if you maybe have some, ingredients on there that aren't like keto approved or whatever, that are like grains or starches, how can you repurpose it and make it keto friendly? Look at it like that. I'm someone who I love to cook. I am like a DIY arts and crafts type of queen. So that's how I look at cooking and baking. You're putting all these ingredients together and you're creating this meal. And this is the one DIY like arts and crafts thing you can eat. So I love cooking for that. And with keto, it really kind of is like, all right, whatever I want to eat, whatever I'm craving, I'm just like, okay, think about it. What ingredients does it have? How can I make it keto friendly? Can I add a little avocado on the side and make a little guac or something? Or, how can I repurpose it? So it's kind of retraining your brain in a way. And think of it like that. Like, because sometimes it's like, oh, burger, but no bun, like, well, you can figure out some creative ways how to do it. So don't restrict yourself right off the bat, because I feel like that's a great way to kind of fail in a way. Go into it positively, look at it as a challenge. That's how I'm kind of looking at it as, and how to make it a yummy challenge and get those really good results where it's like, you know what, I'm just eating food. I'm not eating like diet food. I'm not eating healthy food, because this food's actually delicious, so maybe if you're not a cook, then, maybe you're going to learn how to cook. Or, maybe your significant other, it's like, all right, well, maybe they can step it up. And it's like, well, how can we still make this fun? How can we still make this like delicious? One example of that is we are Mexican. Me and Frankie are Mexican. So a big part of the diet are tortillas and or tostadas. So when we told Frankie's mom we were going to do the keto diet, she's like, oh, no tortillas, no tacos. Like, really? That's a big concern here? Like, I think we're going to be okay if that's, what we're not going to eat anymore. But I'll admit it. I need my tortilla. I'm just like, oh my God. But, I was looking at it. I was like, okay, look at the Mexican foods. Think of what part of it is keto, what is not. The guac is keto, tacos are keto, just no tortilla, and just maybe add the little guacamole on top and, whatever salsas, you're preparing for it. But then I was like, oh, I really want some chicken tinga so bad, but what am I going to put it on? Maybe a lettuce wrap. It's not the same though. How can I make tostadas and how can I make them keto? So I was looking up on YouTube, and I'll mention her again, but Keto, I think it's Chiqui's Online. And a couple of other ones too, but I remember I saw hers, and it's basically just get some mozzarella cheese, fry it up in a pan, and let it harden, and you got your tostada. So, you know what? Get creative, do your research. Like I said, you will find a way to do it. If it's something you really want, you will find a way, believe me. We just bought a bunch of mozzarella cheese. But I think in general, what has really helped also is the fact that me and Frankie are doing this diet together. He was actually the one who was like, we should do keto, which, side note, months ago I suggested we should do keto, but he's like, no, or like I've been like, okay, let's like eat really healthy, let's just do like chicken and veggies, and then he's like, no, like I'm good, blah blah blah. But then one of his friends all of a sudden was doing keto. He's like, oh, we should do it. I was like, I've been said that, but whatever, I'm gonna run with it because like this is something I want to do. So I'm glad he did. And I think doing it with a partner, whether it's your significant other or a friend or like a sister or a brother or something, I think that kind of helps a lot, especially if it's someone you're living with, because, like I'm the one who's cooking all the time, and I could just be like, you know what, screw you. I'm going to cook what I want to cook, which is going to be healthy foods and stuff, but at the same time, if he's bringing carbs and cookies into the household, I would chop his arm off, stuff like that. So I think it just made it easier that we're doing it together. But then also I felt like it kind of helped us kind of keep each other accountable sometimes, because I remember I honestly really thought he was going to be more disciplined than me. For some reason, I just kind of felt like the Scorpio in him would kind of keep us grounded, but somebody's having trouble with lack of sugars and cookies. So, for me, what I was missing was the carbs, for sure. I'm not really like a sugar cookie person. For me, it was the carbs and the taste of chips. That crunchy. I think it's like you're not only missing certain foods, but maybe you're missing certain textures. So mine was chips and carbs. His was like sugar, cookies, and pizza. Specifically pizza, not carbs, just pizza, So you understand what your demons are and like how you can kind of get that in order to fight that. But I remember in the beginning, he was like, oh, like how do I do this? And I had gone in cold turkey, and he was still weaning off the cookies because, of course, his mother sends like 2 packages of cookies every time. So he had to kind of finish them. So he's eating only 3 at a time and stuff. But hey, if you got to wean into it, do it. But I know like there's times where he was like, oh, I can't, look, I don't want to do this, or like, oh, this is too hard. But then we're like, no, we're good. Like we can do it. And then I think around like the third week or something, when I was just like, oh my God, I want a cookie so bad. It's like, do you really want to do this? He's like, that's when he stepped it up. So I think that's a good way for you guys to kind of help each other out. When one's down, the other one's like, no, come on, let's just do this. You know, the other one's down. It's like, no, we got like trying to be the stronger person for the other one, even though you really know in your heart of hearts you are also craving carbs. But I think that's a good way if you guys can be strong for each other and keep each other accountable as well, especially if it's friends even, and you can be like, you know, talk about like your cravings and, you know, how badly you just want to lick the salt off the cracker, you know, type of a thing, no shame type of a deal, or just talk about your experiences, because yes, there definitely are ways that you find out that you're going into ketosis, how it's actually working. You know, they say some people get the keto flu, and there's like what they call a keto cocktail for it, but I didn't do the keto cocktail. I would say do your research on how to kind of avoid the keto flu in a way. I feel like ours wasn't that bad, but for me, I was kind of doing my research about it. So it was kind of like add a little bit more salt into your foods, because due to lack of carbs, you know, you're not really kind of getting those like electrolytes. Or maybe if you could do like a chicken broth stuff, or once again, those electrolytes, like stuff that you're kind of missing. Drink even more water. Like I'm someone who already drinks a lot of water, but like drink even more, because you're going to be a little bit lacking there as well. So I was trying to do those things as well. So I think in general for me, I definitely got like a little bit of nausea, and then we definitely got, you're either gonna get like constipation or a diarrhea. TMI, but that's just the way it goes. But I feel like I think both of us, it was definitely more what we want to call now is the ketorrhea. I just look at it as a body cleanse. So but you're definitely gonna get that. But I was like, hey, it's working, and I felt it. So those are some things to kind of look out for, but kind of do your research how your body's gonna do it, and or you know, if you can, this is something, a diet you can kind of do, but that's something, yeah, to kind of look out for, but nothing really bad for us. I feel like just try to do what you can to avoid it, and try to see what are the things that you need to kind of have to put back into your diet in order to kind of avoid, because like I've heard it's a kind of intense for some people, but I mean, it wasn't really that bad. I felt maybe a little bit foggy, but it was pretty good. I'll give you a little recap of each week. I think week 1 was pretty good. I think after day 2, that's where I remember I just woke up the next day and like my stomach just kind of felt like it kind of went down a little bit. I was like, whoa, like I had lost like the bloating, because like in general, I don't drink too much dairy, which I know I probably should or whatever, but if I drink milk, it's chocolate milk. But I feel like, yeah, week 1, I got kind of keto flu-ish symptoms, but it still wasn't that bad. I think week 2 was good, but going into week 3, because usually for me, I'm that type of person. Let me know if you're also that type of person where whenever I do some sort of diets, lifestyle change or whatever, like workout routine, honestly, it's usually like 2 weeks and that's it for me. You know, I'm just like, okay, I tried it, you know, like, that's usually my max. So I think going into week 3, that's when I started having those cravings. That was, I think, the hardest week, where I'm like, I just want carbs. Like, do we really want to do this? And after a month, do we even still, like, is it worth it? Blah, blah, blah. You know, like all this stuff, starting to doubt yourself a little bit. I think going into week 3, because I feel like for me, that's just like 2 weeks is usually my max in general. So that was like me fighting my head and stuff like that, and just missing those flavors, those carbs. But then I think going into week 3 and 4, that's when I was like, you know what? You want that? Let's get creative. Let's figure it out. How can we get that crunch? And looking up different ways. It's like, there has to be a way, especially it's 2020. Like people, like they're profiting off of this keto stuff. So you know there's snacks out there. You know there's products out there. So, you know, finding chips, keto approved chips. I was like, yes, I found them, and I'll talk about them a little bit later, but finding that, I was like, all right, we can survive, we can do this, and just challenging yourself. It's like, all right, if you want it, let's figure out how to get that and continue on with this diet. And then I think week 4 wasn't bad. I feel like by week 4, because usually what do they say? It takes like 21 days to kind of make a difference or kind of make it a habit. So I think week 4 was pretty good. I feel like at that point we were just in it, and we're just like, you know what, I might as well, because if you're watching this video anytime in 2021 or months later, it's, you know, during the time of quarantine. So one big tip to you guys, and this is probably the one thing of quarantine that has actually benefited us and has helped us. I'll admit, I feel like the fact that we're quarantined, we're at home, it's just us two, we don't have the pressure of, you know, having friends invite us to go out to eat. And I was like, oh my God, okay, we're gonna go out, how do I figure out like what meals and what places and stuff, or to drink? So I feel like the fact that it's just been us two for like a month at home, like I think the first 2 weeks we were actually going to work and stuff, but like we had gotten into our routine and stuff, and we're kind of like homebodies anyway. But I feel like because we've been quarantined, we're like, you know what, might as well do it, you know, that next month that we have to be at home anyway, like we've gotten into it, might as well. So one benefit of it. So I think that's why week 4 kind of, you know, got a little bit easier. And then even like almost finishing up week 4, we're just like, oh, but do we want to like, you know, have carbs and stuff? We're like, you know what, might as well. We're already in it this far and we already gotten used to it. So let's just continue it on for another month. I think the other thing that has really just been great about this experience is that I don't feel as deprived from this type of diet that I do with like other ones, you know, where it's just like you should have like boiled chicken and broccoli and stuff like that, you know, as opposed to this one where I'm just like, okay, I can have my tostadas de tinga, you know, if you want avocado, you can have some avocado, add a little bit extra avocado, like add a little bit of creaminess to your, you know, salmon and make it a little bit more tasty. I feel like this is like the tastiest diet, you know, as long as you kind of make it fit into like your like calories, your macros and stuff like that, and, you know, kind of keep it somewhat clean in there, but, you know, kind of give yourself a little extra treat, or not depriving yourself of like yummy snacks and stuff. So one thing we've been doing is, you know, I'll like, you know, if I'm craving it, I'm gonna YouTube how to make it keto friendly, or if we're just like we're missing that kind of bread type of a pastry thing, you know, I looked up how to make keto brownies, you know, like have a little bite. And I feel like because of the keto diet, I don't feel like I need to overindulge on stuff. I feel like my body tells me sooner when I'm like kind of full, as opposed to before where it's like, oh my God, let's eat like half the brownie that we made, you know, like the whole pan. Where now it's like, okay, just a little bit of taste. I feel like I can portion control a little bit better. And even when it comes to like snacks and stuff, I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of full. I don't really need a snack other than, you know, like in the evenings and stuff. So I feel like this is just the most doable diet, you know? So I feel like if there's one, I've never tried any of those like paleo or Atkins. I'm not really sure what those entail. I think paleo or like, was it Full 30 is kind of similar. No carbs in a way, but I've never tried those. I've definitely, so I'm 28, gonna be 29. I've definitely tried the stupid diets, the really dumb ones. I feel like your 20s is the time just to start the dumb diets. Try them out. Who here has tried that dumbass? What is it? Like the Beyonce diet where it's like lemon juice, some expensive ass syrup, and cayenne pepper, some bullshit like that. Like, yeah, I did that. Like, I think it lasted like 3 days. I said, fuck that shit. So, but I think this one is definitely, it's just something, it's sustainable. Whether you want to do for 1 month, 2 months, depending on my results, I think I might even want to do 3. But for us, I think it was important that we picked a time where we're like, okay, what's going to be the less kind of like pressure months, or like less things that we do. So for us, we're like, okay, let's start in March, but we waited like almost a week after, because the last thing, our last hurrah meal, it was for his Frankie's brother's birthday in March. And honestly, for us, like March, April, there's not really much going on, other than like 1 or 2 birthdays, you know. And in April, we just have like my mom's birthday. It was like, we can do a Mexican restaurant and just get like just a rachera or something. So I think it's important just to set yourself up for success, to like pick either, whether it's just 1 month or maybe even 2 months. But I feel like your first month, probably most important, when you know you're not going to be pressured into going out or doing all these like, you know, kind of eating, you know, activities, because that's what a lot of people do, brunches and stuff like that, millennials, you know. And if we ever were to try this again, I think even starting in January, February, you know, I definitely wanted to do it before Gemini season in June, because I have a lot of Gemini friends. I'm a Gemini, and every weekend is booked and busy, and I just wouldn't be able to, maintain that. So I was like, okay, March is good, April's good, maybe even May leading up to Gemini season, or basically right before my birthday, I can probably totally do. So I think in order to help yourself last a little bit longer, I think that's also very important. I think everybody is very different when it comes to their keto meals. And it's actually kind of interesting watching different videos of people who have done the keto diet. It was funny because I actually followed MakeupShayla and Katie here on YouTube, and I rewatched their videos when they were doing like the keto diet, and I was watching like Shayla's, and it's so funny, just the, you know, like astrology lover in me when I watch people now, I was like, I want to know what their zodiac sign, or like guess it, and then like you can totally tell by their habits. So when I was watching MakeupShayla's video, if you guys watch her here, especially if you're from my beauty channel, you probably know her, but she is a Virgo, and the way that she was talking about her keto diet sounded Virgo AF. Like I was like, you make me kind of not want to do this. She's just very strict, and like she was talking about like hers, how she's like, I make the same thing for every single day, every single meal, you know, just so I know exactly how many, you know, macros I have in each thing and nutrition. Like that's great for you. I feel like that is like the ultimate Virgo keto diet. I'm a Gemini. I cannot. No way. So what I've been surviving off of is mixing up my meals. And so every week, and I get excited to like plan my meals and try something new, have kind of like nice, easy, basic things. Maybe there's stuff that I can make enough of in batches so I can have maybe the next day. I like to eat, depending on what it is, I can eat as much as leftovers. And if it's something like tostadas, the thing is, I can eat up to like, you know, 3 days straight. But after that, no girl, we need to mix it up. I need to kind of get a little bit excited about it, you know, whether it's like, ooh, you're just adding a little bit of cheese on your like chicken. Make something that you're kind of excited about, that, you know, has a little extra yummy kick to it, but it still, you know, fits into your macros, fits into, you know, your whole kind of like calories, nutrition stuff, and still following kind of that general keto diet stuff, which, in case you guys are wondering, the way that I figured out like what I should be eating, how much I should be eating, and how much Frankie should be eating, because I'm female. I was gonna say I'm male. I'm female. He's a male. So our like calorie intake and our like fat intake is gonna be different. So I actually downloaded the Keto Diet app. It's free, and basically I just put in like my age, my activity level, you know, how much weight or whatever you want to lose, like if you're doing it for that, and it'll kind of break down like a general guideline for, you know, how you should look at how much fat you should be eating a day, how much protein, how much carb. And usually for the keto diet, you want to eat anywhere from 20 to like 50 gram net carb. And then his, of course, is going to be a little bit higher. So when I cook, I try to give him a little bit more too. I don't want to underfeed him in that way or whatever, because he doesn't really need to lose weight, but whatever. That's how I figured it out. So I just downloaded the app just for that. And then my first week, I was really kind of putting everything into the MyFitnessPal app, and that one I go from using, not using, you know, when you're in your diet phases. But that one, I feel like, especially for the first week, I was really using that just to kind of get an understanding of from what foods am I getting what type of nutrients, so like what foods and how much. And I feel like after that, I kind of do have like a general idea on now when I cook, so I get a little bit lazier with it. But I know coming into these weeks, I want to get kind of back on it, just so like get a little bit stricter with myself. But you know, I get a little bit lazy. I'm just like, just add 3 more avocados to there or something. But I feel like that's a good way to start, because I feel like if you start lazy, I feel like your results won't be as high, you know? So start a little bit strict for yourself, just so you can get that understanding and that idea of how much you need from each food, and like honestly what you're really eating, especially if you are trying to do it for like weight loss and stuff. But and then after that, you can have your lazier days, and then kind of go from there. All right, before this video is like 3 hours long, thank you if you're still with me. I like this video. I wanted to get into some of the questions you guys are asking, because I think these are actually really fun. So Encino Girl 007 said, what did you do to reduce cravings for junk food / sweets, etc.? So honestly, I think that just kind of goes with how long you are on keto. And I think it was just finding like healthier snacks, healthier foods to kind of replace that craving. For me specifically, I know for like, I'm not a sweets person, but sometimes, especially around the time of the month, you might be kind of craving that. So I found that I really loved frozen blueberries. that's keto approved. A lot of fruits aren't, but berries are. And so just kind of having frozen blueberries as like maybe like a little evening snack or throughout the day, like that kind of hit my sweet tooth of just right. And kind of the crunch for it kind of helped that, like, you know, what I would normally want from like a chip craving type of a crunch. So I think the blueberries was very helpful. And it was kind of like, ooh, I'm kind of like eating ice cream type of a deal. So finding replacements for it that you think are just like delicious, I think is an easy way. Karina Rodriguez, hey girl. What were the top 3 things you liked for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I want to do it. You should. If we want to say top 3 from each. So I'm not a huge breakfast person. I feel like not until really being with Frankie, him and his family, like huge breakfast people. Like they have like 2 breakfasts at breakfast. I'm just like, oh my God, I can't. But I've come around to breakfast, but the things I love from breakfast, usually it's the potatoes, the hash browns, all the carbs is what I like from breakfast, pancakes and stuff like that. So breakfast, I don't know, I didn't really care for it, but I did like, sometimes I'll do, like little egg muffins. That's in general what we're doing before, and I was like, hey, everything I'm putting on there is keto approved. So I was just kind of meal prepping beforehand, was just kind of like mini egg cups. So I would put like egg, I would put bell peppers, season it with like some garlic salt, and then, you know, adding a little bit of cheese on top, adding sausage, or you can do bacon. So I think that was my favorite because it was just quick and easy. I kind of got everything at once. So I think for breakfast, it's probably my favorite thing. And whenever I would like make eggs, and I would add spinach too. I think eggs with a little spinach and like cheese on there. Breakfast, I don't know. I don't get as creative with it. Actually, one thing we did try out was keto pancakes. I just need to find a syrup for it. So maybe that question might add 2 more categories on there. But lunch, I feel like my favorite thing for lunch is honestly leftovers from dinner, because it's like, guess what? All I have to do is like a microwave it. So I think for lunch, that's the quick and easy way that I like to do it just in general. So I'll do that. Also, I think like chicken salad with like lettuce wraps, I really like. And then I would say, yeah, for lunch, it's kind of pretty much it. Dinner. I'm a dinner person. I love dinner. I love making dinner. I think that's my favorite meal to make. I just feel like you just get so many different more options. So for dinner, we got a list. I feel like a lot of them are like my yummier meals, because on the weekends, I feel like that's when like we would definitely, as you would normally do, kind of like a eat out, but like eating in, just something not as like strict. So my number one for sure is what got me into keto. I was like, I could eat burgers. So definitely burgers. So we would do like 2 burger patties with cheese, and then I would do 2 pieces of bacon on top, because you know, and then lettuce and some mayo and sugar-free ketchup and mustard. And honestly, I don't really taste too much of a difference for like sugar-free ketchup. Like it tastes good to me because I'm getting my burger in. So burgers for sure. My fun meals, I definitely like tostadas de tinga. I think that was my favorite. But then one to kind of throw in there that's kind of, actually no, this is a new one now. I just made this yesterday. I have to add this to what I eat in a day, number 3 series. It was salmon from a picky person, I know. So it was salmon, and I just kind of did like a garlic creamy sauce on top. So good. Let me know if you want me to film that keto what I eat in a day with that salmon one. Like super easy and super delicious, but I'm probably gonna film it anyway. So I would say those are like my top 3 favorites, and there's definitely, you know, more. Gabby MTZ86 asks, how did your body take eating a different? I got the ketorrhea, but that's part of the keto flu symptoms in general. But I think overall, my body took it pretty well. It was when I did that dirty kind of keto day or dirty meal, my body was like, hell no. Like, it was almost as like, am I about to go into a shock or something? That's how I knew. It was like, that's dirty keto. I can't do that. Like, no, my body wants like the good stuff. And I think in general, my body, like when you do any sort of like new diet, new like eating habits, lifestyle, especially when they're good ones, or even when they're bad. When they're bad, your body knows. When they're good, your body knows. You know, if it's something different, you're switching it up completely, your body knows. So I feel like my body was just like, yo, what are all these veggies doing here? Like, where the hot Cheetos at? Like, what the fuck? You know? So I feel like, you know, my body's like, your body kind of, you know, you put it into like just, they're so confused. So I feel like, especially when you first start like a diet like this, your body's like you really lose like the weight. Like, it's just so dramatic. So, but my body took it well. And that's something, check with your doctor if you want to, especially if you have any like sort of health concerns in general, or just listen to your body as you're doing it. And if, it feels like really off, then, switch it up, or maybe it's just not for you type of a thing. So for me, when I had all that bacon, it's like, hell no, nobody needs this much bacon. I don't know how people do it. Nancy Jean KC asks, have you modified any Mexican recipes to be keto friendly? I had to. So you saw if you guys saw in the description box, is my keto friendly tostadas de tinga. Delicious. Gonna have to make that one again, and in order for me to have 3 days in a row. And then the other one that I did before, let me know if you want me to film it, but is albóndigas. So, caldo de albóndigas. I love albóndigas. I did a couple of modifications, no rice or anything. I switched up the veggies that I put into the, caldo. Delicious. So, that's also another favorite one too. Definitely want to experiment with some more like Mexican keto friendly recipes, which a lot of them are, can be like it's actually pretty easy. So I want to do some more of those, but yes, I had to, because I was like, I need these flavors in my life. My cousin asked, did you get keto breath? I don't know. I don't think so. So the first 2 weeks I was still going, week and a half, I was still at work and doing the keto thing, but I feel like maybe it was still too soon to tell. And after that, it's just been me and Frankie at home, and Frankie has no sense of smell, so I don't know, but I don't smell keto breath on him, so I don't know. Unless somebody tells me, then maybe. Arlie A. Ripez, I don't know if I wrote this down right. I wrote this down because I can't read off my phone. Where do you find your recipes? Honestly, the biggest thing is YouTube and Pinterest. Sometimes I'll because I was like, I don't know what I want to eat. I'll go to the Pinterest first and just do keto recipes. And if I know do I want to do chicken? Do I want to do ground beef? I'll do keto chicken recipes, keto ground beef. And either I'll find it on Pinterest, and if I want some more ideas, I'll kind of, once I get the idea of what I want, I'll go onto YouTube, because I'm just more of a visual person. I don't like to read recipe instructions. I'd rather watch recipe instructions. Who else is like that? Which is why I love YouTube. So if I can get an idea of what I want on Pinterest, I'll actually look up other renditions on YouTube. So I think those are my two main sources, but if I can watch it, I'd rather do that, because it's cook your butter until it looks like this. How? I can't see, So that's what I like. Joanna Luna 88 asks, what are your go-to snacks? So I feel like, especially in the beginning, I think you might want snacks, but I feel like as you get more into it, I don't snack as much. During the day, maybe more so at night, just those habits when you're watching something, you're like, I need a snack. But I feel like you snack less on keto just because you feel fuller, and I just don't feel the need for it as much. But if I had to name my favorite snacks, definitely the frozen blueberries, and then the other one that I liked a lot because I just love my charcuterie, just no crackers, but definitely prosciutto. Keto friendly prosciutto and some type of cheese. So whether it's little cubes or sharp cheddar, those are more my favorite ones to begin with. And then when I needed that chip craving, yes, it's possible. If you are like me and you love chips, you need that crunch in your life, especially if on the side of my burger, I kind of want some chips. Quest protein chips, I'll put a picture up here for you guys, but there's actually an article on all of their chips ranked from best to worst. And we tried the Dorito ones, which you can order and pick up from Target. So they had those the cheesy kind. They're kind of like a Dorito basically. And then they have them at Walmart if you want to order them, which I did, and I got them shipped. The barbecue flavor is apparently their number one, and I actually like them a little bit better than the cheesy ones. So Quest has a lot of good options for keto friendly foods. We actually got keto pizza from Quest because I had to keep Frankie alive on this. So their pizza is actually probably my favorite so far. But other snacks, let me see, nuts, so pecans, cashews, macadamias, but those are expensive. Frankie bought an $18 bag from Costco. Macadamias, you better eat those. But we actually just bought a little mix bag from Costco as well. I would just say the nuts, be careful, especially calorie count with those too. So just be careful with that. I'm trying to think if I have any other favorite snacks. If I can't think of it, must not be my favorite. ESP Rosa. How do you stay motivated? I get tempted so easily with food. I think the results is what's motivating to me, especially that first 2 weeks. I was like, whoa, this is working. I think the results has definitely motivated me, and which is why, like, yes, let's do 2 months. When we're into it, we're like, you know what, I might even want to do 3, you know. But I think the results have motivated me the most. But like I said before, I think my mindsets has definitely kept me going. My positive mindset that I have now, and the way that I look at food, and how I don't need to look at it for comfort as much as it's food. You know, it's like, all right, I'm hungry, I guess I should eat, rather than like, let me binge on this bag of Cheetos, you know. So finding out what that trigger is, I think, is what can help you be the most motivated. You know, when I figured out why and making steps towards fixing that issue, I think that's what not only helped me eat healthier, but also helped me, help me like stay motivated to go to the gym. Because I remember I would have every day on my plan, I was like, we're gonna go to the gym today, and you know, you find excuses and you're like, nah, not today. And I think overall with this keto diet especially, and that I feel like that it's not as strict of a diet, so I think that's what also has kind of helped me, or doesn't feel as strict as a diet to me. That's kind of helped motivate me because I'm not as restricted, as I said before, if you kind of get that. And the last question from Zoila83, seems like anything healthier is so much more expensive. How does keto compare? And I think the way that I look at it as, I think probably the most expensive might be like the oils that you use to cook, but it's like oils in general, it's a bitch to have to buy. I hate buying virgin organic olive oil, and I'm like, I'm spending how much, but like you're gonna use it for a long time, you know. Probably other than the oils, maybe like avocados. Because honestly, we eat like 1 to 2 avocados a day. But the way that I look at it is like, okay, how much did you spend on junk food? How much did you spend on eating out? Now, repurpose that budget, reallocate it to buying healthier foods. Yeah, you could afford it this whole time. You know, if you could afford the junk food, if you can afford, you know, eating out junk food all the time, you can afford to repurpose that into healthier foods. And for me, I remember when I was like calculating once, I was just like, okay, we would buy like cookies and like chips that was like $5, $3, like every other day or something, you know, like how many veggies could you buy for that? But not only that, but I think knowing where to shop to get those deals and to get, you know, just like cheaper prices, but still for like very good veggies. So like now I try to make it a habit of specifically going to Aldi for as much as possible. My veggies and or stuff like almond flour or like avocado oil, or just like, you know, certain other like unsweetened almond milk, you know, instead of having to buy like store brand or having to buy like brand name, you know, type of product. Sometimes like instead of buying the brand name, I'm gonna buy the store brand, and guess what, you're saving a lot of money. Or if you can find it at Aldi, you're gonna save even more. So just really taking into account how much everything costs, where can you get it for cheaper. But if you know, and you're still watching, but if you watch my channel, I am a ballin' on a budget queen, you know, so I have definitely invested before and on like a personal trainer. And that ain't cheap. I've done that before. And while my workouts were doing great and consistent, the food part was not. So honestly, it's like I wasn't really losing weight. I was maybe maintaining or maybe just not gaining as much. So if you think like I have to spend $200 a month on like Orange Theory or a personal trainer, like no, that's not so. Because if you're not eating right, then, you know, you're just wasting your money at that point. And you don't need to maybe spend $200 a month in order to get your workouts in. Like, girl, I'm on Pinterest, or not even Pinterest, Instagram. I love to hashtag HIT at home workouts, hashtag leg day, hashtag arm workouts, and not feeling embarrassed that you don't know how to use the machines at the gym. Figure it out, you know? Like look at, they have got instructions, or watch the videos. Watch some videos, figure it out. YouTube videos. There's ways, balling on a budget, to lose weight, and I think I'm showing you guys how to do that. So for me, I'm just like, you know what? I always say like, okay, I'm going to like spend this much and save this much on not, you know, getting that expensive gym membership, and I'll get it later. But I'm like, you know what? We don't need to. That would be nice. That would be nice. I love Orange Theory. I did one class for free with my friend Patricia. I love it. It's just not on my budget right now. But you know what? We're going to get those weight loss results. And honestly, weight loss starts with food more than fitness. And we hear it and we hear it and we hear it. But then it's like, no, I'll spend 3 hours at the gym just so I can have like this big old piece of pie and stuff. Guess what? I also love efficiency. So if food is something I have to eat anyway. If I can cook it a little bit better or a little bit different or follow a different type of like meal plan that I make up for myself and save myself 2 hours at the gym, why not? You know, I'm still going to try to, you know, go to the gym and stuff, but guess what? I don't have to work out as hard now. So you're saving time on something. And don't look at the price as much. Think about what your budget is, what you're already spending your money on, and how you can, you know, move it towards something healthier, something better for you, how you can invest in yourself instead. That's how I'm looking at it. So I don't see it as, and it doesn't feel as though like I'm spending a lot of money, because guess what? I'm cooking all my meals at home and I'm saving so much, and we're not going out. So we're saving money. It's helping to save money right now, but there are a lot of dishes. That's the only thing I gotta say. You know, you stay washing dishes. All right, so that was my very, very long, I don't even know how many minutes this video is, but that was my very long 30-day keto update. But it's honestly just the keto diet in itself. I feel like I can do like so many other videos, like tips or my favorite snacks, like all of them, or favorite foods. Like I still want to continue doing keto, what I eat in a day, kind of try to do those weekly for you guys and stuff like that. But then I think in general, just the weight loss journey, I think that's just a journey in itself. And if you guys want to hear more about mine, things that I've done just to get to this point, just here, because believe me, it's been years just to see like -21 or get this feeling. It's been a minute, you know, and I think that feeling is definitely what's been motivating me. And you're gonna have your ups and downs. I know you're gonna have those days, but so far so good. So if you guys want to see that type of weight loss journey, maybe as we go along this one, let me know, and I can, you know, hopefully film that for you guys as well. I just wanted to share what I'm doing. I've definitely had heard about this like trend diet, you know, years ago. I'm just like, sure, you know, just like I never thought like, let me jump into it type of a thing. And I think now is just the right time for me in order for it to be successful for me. And I'm excited. I'm excited to try new recipes. I'm excited to do another month of it and see if maybe we can do a third. And so far, no cheat days. And I think that's what's really helped with the results overall. Because I hear like this one, like when you cheat, it's just really hard to kind of get back into it. And I if I get a taste of that carb, I don't know if I can. But I'm excited. I'm glad this is something that I tried, even if it, you know, would have just been for like this long. But of course, you know, we're not going to do that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that if at least for one person, this can be inspiring, not only to do the keto diet, but whether it's this or just some other lifestyle change for yourself, you know, I hope it can be helpful in that way. So make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can keep up with the rest of my not only keto diet, but weight loss journey as well. I like sharing with you guys and my tips, because just know that I have been that person where I kind of got to a point where I honestly thought I couldn't, you know, I was like, maybe this just isn't it for me, you know, like maybe I can't like not bounce back or like get back to my happy, you know. I got to that point, I'm like, this is just what it is. But it's not. So for those of you who maybe felt like that, just know it's not. There's ways to get there, and you know, hopefully, you know, like me, I hope you can too. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and I hope you guys will follow along as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all next time.